I was lucky enough to fill the space. I'm going to make a presentation of the last results of the Warinza project, exploration project. It was discovered by David Lowell. Everyone knows him. This is a picture of the area. This is Condor Cordillera, south east from Ecuador. We have a package of 27,000 hectares around the central core or cluster of the porphyry and around 10 targets outside the target. Regarding permits, we have been able to drill more than 100,000 meters during the pandemics. We had a good agreement with the communities where we're operating and all the permits required in Ecuador. The history of the project is quite long, started in 1990, where BHP Billiton took areas in the Pangi sector and did campaigns of geophysics and geochemistry, identifying in San Carlos Pananza the first porphyries and the others Warinza, Mirador Norte as anomalies. At that time, they stopped doing explanation, and then Deep Lowell started managing the project, and then in 2001, after two campaigns of exploration, Warins and Miradoros were discovered. Then in 2004, Lowell exchanged the participation of 10% he had in the other concessions of Billiton and took 10% of Warinza. In the campaigns of 2000-2001, we established a resource of 124 million tons with a 0.56% of copper and 0.03% of molybdenum. Then in 2019, we started working again, and in 2020, we started drilling. The location is southeast of Ecuador, and the Mesozoic belt of copper. We have Mirador toward the north. So these Jurassic porphyries have a good tonnage, good grade. In the case of Mirador, there's 0.2 grams of gold besides copper. Mirador is also another good resource. Mirador is under production. And then we have San Carlos Pananza, that is also very close, with a large porphyry with a high grade vis-a-vis what we are finding nowadays. Basically, we have dedicated ourselves to do two things. First, 120 tons, 1,000 tons was small to what the deposit was there. All the soundings, all the drilling were limited, and we found the chalcopyrite that was at the end of the drilling. So we extended the existing drillings, and we have multiplied by 10 the Warinza resources, and we started drilling the other anomalies, and all of them were copper porphyries, like all the Warinzas, east, west, and south, 5 by 5 kilometers, that you can see. But that doesn't finish there. Still, there are two other porphyry centers that this year we have been able to design. These are the drillings that we did till January of 2022, and then we published a resource that was published for the stock market with almost 65,000 meters of drilling and sounding, and we found four 14% what is in magenta, and 0.15 what is in yellow. The grid there, each grid is around 750 kilometers. It's like 1 or 2 kilometers. It's on the left side is what is a central, and then this few drillings is what is east. So we have around 600 million tons copper equivalent. It has some moly, a little gold. The inferred one is quite important. It's 900 million tons are defined base in geology. And as we continue drilling, many of these inferred ones become indicated ones. And for the time being, we're increasing 100 million of indicated ones and inferred many more. The ones here, the starter pit is just changing the prices of copper, moly, and gold to see how would be the first years of mining. So there is quite a rich area on the upper part. This is an idea of how we can see the resource. This is an image and plan. We are still where it's still open. It's still open. We have been opening and closing it, and the right side is what is west that is not indicated, just inferred. And towards the south, we are expanding. We found a center close to what is east that is increasing the resource. So yes, in 2021 we discovered what is east, and then continue with what is south and central Warinsa. So this is telling us the north east direction, and we're expanding. This is a view looking towards the southwest. So the first sounding in the sur and the central Warinsa, all of them between 0.3 and 0.5% copper equivalent. What's in magenta, it's an anomaly that is really related to sulfides. Now, here on the left side, you can see what we call it patrimonio, that is south west of Yainza, and the southern area that we were working. So this is what we had a year ago. And the center Warinza, the resource was reported. But I want you to pay attention of what we have nowadays. All of these drillings have been completed, expanded in Warinza Central, north west. I don't have a pointer, I'm sorry. But you can see Warinza Central, the north east, and everything that we're doing now in Warinza east and towards the south, we found another porphyry center. And besides this, we have two anomalies of copper and moly that are extending themselves in Warinza towards the north, and Patrimonio, which is a land called by Patrimonio, we have found a new porphyry center. So that is the part of central Waritza, the northwest, the expansion, as you may be able to see. All of these are intersects between 1.5 and 1% copper equivalent that will add a lot to the started pit and to the initial mining of the project. So this is the area what is east. You can look south, the SLSE 28. This is a new mineralized center which is extending this part of the system southwards. These are clusters of porphyries that are very close one to the other, and each one has its own mineralization. And the box rock is a good host to receive the copper. This is the drillings of SL23. You can see here it has an andesite, a porphyritic andesite, an alteration, a biotite, sulfur, and C-type, and it has its halo of green cerussite. Patrimonio, this is the target that I showed you minutes ago, that is south of the resource. This is what we can see in the surface. So here there is an area very dense in moly. We are moving the grid there to start drilling. And Petilla B on the right side, we also have, and also chalcopyrite with pyrite is the coming crossing of, and besides that, we have around 10 targets of different types in the whole area. So it's quite a large migration center, and we have the main cluster that has 5.5 kilometers, and it has at least 5 porphyries. And then I don't have more time, so I think we have 5 minutes for questions. Thank you very much, Jorge, and we have time for 1 or 2 questions. Hello, Jorge. Thank you very much for your presentation. What is the age of mineralization of this porphyry, copper, porphyry, and moly? And which are the features from what it's east to what it's west? There would be an alignment of these 3 intrusive, and south is patronatos. Do you have any evidence of any structural control? Yes, I wanted to. Can you put the presentation again up again? Yes, there is an alignment from Warinza East to Warinza West going through Central. The wall rock is a diorite. So I'm going to show east-west section between what it's west, central, and east. So there you have the center of east, which is a classic porphyry. It has center and alterations between them. There is a granodiorite post-mineral that is cutting it. There are some faults. What is east is cutting Central Waritza. So you can see what's in pink and in clearer colors. These are porphyries. These are dikes that are entering into magenta, which is a diorite, and there in yellow we have porphyry without mineralization. So mineralization is associated to these plats There are east-west, and the wall rock is the one that has the largest mineralization. The drilling is central, stopped by the granodiorite, and in the west we have a small volcano-sedimentary basin. That is the difference between wall rock and what is central and what is east. And the porphyry there on the right on top is the classic dike. And we have the diorites that are mineralized. And this one on the left side are the wall rocks. So it's a system, a multi phase system. The alteration is simple. Indefinite is chalcopyrite and the growth up, but it goes from 10 meters to 80 meters and depends a lot on the topography. Nevertheless, on the red area is what we call green sericite that is associated to Setilla C, and the yellow one is an overimposure of white sericite on green sericite. So, and everything is mineralized. And when we go to the same section, we have the different types of alteration, and we have the quartz sericite that is green, and it's a feature of this. In mineralization, what's in red is chalcopyrite greater than pyrite, and what's in yellow is pyrite greater than chalcopyrite. So there is the mixed distributed. The blue is the small area of enrichment. Very simple mineralogy, very extensive. The green sericite with chalcopyrite, and mineralization goes across different lithologies and alterations. So more or less the features of the deposit.